What is going on, everybody? It's Alex coming back from another video. And today, the draft order updated. So I was not expecting that. And you know what? I made a video for you guys already. Already made a mock draft this week. So I still uploaded it, but that would be a little bit unfair to use last week's draft order. So giving you guys double the content, hopefully double the fun. Let's kick into it. Of course, if you guys are new, like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do. And let's kick this off. Starting off with the number one pick, we got the Lions. So here's the thing about the Lions. I genuinely believe that Jared Goff is good enough to keep around, and he'll keep you semi-competitive. It's not the time to bring in a quarterback. That's just my genuine opinion. I think that you're about 3 years out from being able to bring in a quarterback and have him ready, because you'll have Taylor Decker, Penny Sewell at full capacity, Ragnow still looking pretty damn good, and then you can develop the rest of your team around that. There's not enough weapons there. DeAndre Swift is pretty damn good. I'll concede there. But the defense needs a lot of work before you bring in a quarterback trying to make this team any bit competitive in this division where you're going to have rising stars everywhere. Because, again, the Bears in a couple of years are either going to be great or complete garbage, right? Hopefully Justin Fields and the organization can do that. And then the Vikings, God only knows what they'll be in a couple of years. That would be the perfect time for this team to take that quarterback and take that ascension. Jared Goff's the perfect guy to keep him right now at least competitive. He is a franchise style quarterback. Again, he did lead the Rams to the Super Bowl. Granted, it might have been on Todd Gurley's back, but he has a running back of extreme talent right now, DeAndre Swift. So let's keep that in mind. I am personally, of course, going to be going the way I usually do at the start of the draft, building the trenches. You know, they paid a lot of money for, I think his name's Trey Flowers. I keep wanting to say Eric Flowers. It's not Eric Flowers. Trey Flowers, they paid him a ton of money a little bit ago. And he hasn't been as special as he was in New England, and that's just because Belichick is Belichick. And, you know, back at that time, the Lions were trying to become the Patriots. So I think KT is a superstar, somebody who is unbelievable, groundbreaking style edge talent. You need that in this division. You might have some very young quarterbacks, and, you know, you got Jordan Love going to be there next year. So about this time, you might have Jordan Love and Justin Fields having their first full year starting. That's going to be great for KT to have experience putting on the pressure. It'll help the Lions overall. Hopefully, Jeff Okudah coming back after his Achilles injury, might have been an ACL or Achilles. Big injury out for the year. He'll be coming back. So KT will be able to provide a little bit extra support for a secondary that's been pretty damn weak. I love the idea of this. I don't think that Kyle Hamilton, as much as I do love him, and Derek Stingley, not worth a number one overall pick. The big impacts are down in the trenches. That's where you see Khalil Mack getting a ton of first round picks for being traded. You look at even on the other side, you look at Laramie Tunsil, the amount of picks that they got for him. So there's a lot of value that you can get from edge and offensive line, and that is super critical. Especially like when people try to talk about the value of positions, just look at the value of trades and you'll see how the NFL values positions. Because again, if you have a lack of edge, like you see that it wasn't Henry Anderson because he actually got a pretty poor deal. But I'm thinking about the Trey Hendrickson. He got a monster deal. That guy was not that talented. He's not even close to the amount of money that he would be that he should be paid. But given the value at edge, that increases his return on that investment. KT is groundbreaking. He is a superstar. I love him. He's going to be great for the Lions. Number 2, Jags. I am so happy to do this. I love Kyle Hamilton. He'd be an excellent selection here. You got to do something about the offensive line. Walker Little's doing something, but you brought Cam Robinson back, I believe, on a franchise tag. That's embarrassing. Evan Neal, in my opinion, is the best player in the draft because, of course, KT did just get injured. Evan Neal is versatile, athletic, young, powerful. I don't know. I just think he's the best offensive line prospect that I've evaluated. Maybe Penny Sewell has a higher upside. It's just Evan Neal doesn't have the balance concerns that I had with Penny. And he's also going to be coming off a full year of starting at left tackle, and he's already off to a great start. I love the potential Evan Neal there. We'll see how my love for him translates over the years, or over the weeks, but still huge fan. Evan Neal. Number 3, we got the Texans. So finally, they're not picking number 1 overall. They're an interesting situation. This is a spot where you do not have a groundbreaking offensive or defensive line player. And I would honestly have taken Evan. I'm starting to think that maybe even if the Texans were at 1, I'd start looking at Evan Neal. Just saying, Marcus Cannon won't be there forever. I will be looking towards Spencer Rattler here because this is a team that, well, I don't think they're probably like a 5-year project. And at least Spencer Rattler gives you a chance to do something. The Lions have pieces. I don't really think that the Texans have pieces. They have a lot of patches. And Spencer Rattler, it's a little bit cruel to throw him in that situation, but it's also realistic. I'm not going to be sending him Derek Stingley. There's not another edge that I'd probably put above KT. DeMarvin Leal is amazing. I can't think that the Texans would take DeMarvin Leal that high. I already know. They need something to rejuvenate their franchise. Davis Mills isn't it. They got a patch right now in Tyrod Taylor. Spencer Rattler, they've shown that they can do stuff too. So I know that they're willing to patch up their roster to at least remain a little bit competitive and show respect to the quarterbacks they have on roster. I think Spencer Rattler is going to end up being the number 1 quarterback in this class. You know, people like he had a little bit of a rough game, and that's fine. This is a squad that can like allow Spencer Rattler to be meh for a little bit. It's gonna be a lot better than what they already have. So I'm gonna go Spencer Rattler here. He did fall quite a bit in my last mock, but this one it feels more right. It feels a little more right. So number 4, the Jets are sitting here, and I mean all 3 of these players are excellent picks. Excellent picks. Personally, if I were the Jets, I'd think about trading back because there are teams that are probably trying to just move up for quarterbacks, especially since the Giants are sitting there and they're going to be definitely taking a quarterback. There's definitely teams that are going to be hollering on the phone. I'm looking at the Falcons as a team that could be doing that, to be honest. Just like, you know, you can even look at Washington. Washington might be wanting to move up right here above their own division partners right there in the Giants, who probably should have taken Justin Fields. Just saying. That was my thought. I was like, wow, they really gave up on Justin Fields right there. They had a number 10 overall pick and just gave him up. Really weird stuff like that. Oh, or maybe number 11 pick. Regardless. So this pick is really tough for me because I think Kyle Hamilton would be an excellent addition to the squad. I think Derek Stingley, I think you got to go with them. We're trying to limit the amount of trades just because, again, the draft order is so messed up and trades like that are not that common. That's why it was groundbreaking that San Francisco traded up from 12 pretty much to 3. It was just a really, really interesting situation. But regardless, Derek Stingley is going to be a nice defensive piece there. Cal Hamilton is only falling just because of the fact that the teams ahead of him don't really need the safety. Like, that's just the bottom line. But this pick right here will be a quarterback, and Sam Howell is looking really good. I think that there's been enough pressure on New York to actually get, like, I remember last time they drafted Daniel Jones, they got so much flack because they have not had an African-American quarterback. Well, finally, there's one that is so talented that he probably could have been taken above Spencer Rattler. Malik Willis. Just a really talented guy. I think Sam Howell might go over him still, but Malik is more that modern NFL. They honestly don't need to change their scheme that much. For Malik, he's much more mobile. I think he's a lot better. He's a much better fit, I think, than Sam Howell, who's a really damn good prospect. But Malik Willis, just having a good time there. It's worth the pick. And you know what? Just take a shot on it. He's a really good quarterback, and it's something that the Giants could use. They got Golladay there. Some of his issues are accuracy. You fix his mechanics, and then you have Kenny Golladay. That's pretty much all you need. So, big fan of that pick right there. The Bengals. Ooh, the Bengals could be wanting to trade out of here, but DeMarvin Leal is on the board. And I remember I thought people would go crazy, and I think this might have been one of my first drafts. I went to DeMarvin Leal at 5, and I was like, damn, that's pretty rich. DeMarvin Leal is beyond worth that pick. He's so damn good. I thought, of course, I did think about Kyle Hamilton there, but DeMarvin Leal is just unbelievable. I just saw him. He moves so differently, and there's just no getting around it. At this point, Kyle Hamilton is best player on the board. That defense is garbage. You know, Richie Grant and Kyle Hamilton could actually do something, but Kyle Hamilton in the slot if you need to, and then just go from there. You know, I don't think there's really much more that we need to say about that. He is easily the best player on the board. Next, we got the Giants again. And this is one where I can see a team wanting to move up. You do see a couple corners here that could be very nice. Edge-wise, I could see Aiden Hutchinson being like, this is a high-end pick for Aiden Hutchinson, like high. This is, I'm trying to think. This is like the highest range where I could see Aiden Hutchinson. This is ceiling pick right here. There we go. That's the word I want to say. Ceiling pick for Aiden Hutchinson is this one. I don't think you get anywhere near this pick, to be honest, in the real draft, unless he continues doing what he's doing. But even Kwity Paye, who I thought was unbelievable, didn't do that. So we'll see about that. But at this spot, there are really damn good corners on the board. And where the hell are the Cardinals? I'm so used to them being up around that spot. Excuse me. I don't believe that they can trade up this far. And there are teams that could probably use a corner, one of them being the Eagles. The Eagles definitely are in that range. Of course, they're not going to trade with the Giants. But I'm looking at a team right here in the Vikings. The Vikings could move up for a quarterback, right? You got Sam Howell on the board. Or they could honestly go up for a corner. I think they're going to trade with the Giants right now because I'm looking for a team that could use a center. You could look at the Raiders right here and honestly, you know what? Screw it. We're going center. I would definitely choose Tyler Linderbaum 10 out of 10 times for the Raiders right there. So I'm going Tyler Linderbaum at the spot. I don't really care. We're sticking to that. Number 9. This is an interesting spot because this is a good landing spot for Howell or Corral. But this is where I think, oh man, the Vikings are going to trade up. I think so. I think it's right. We're going to actually trade this. We're going to do this first. We're going to have the Colts pick. Going to be going to the Eagles. Because again, Carson Wentz, we can't not project that. So we'll trade their second round pick, even though it's a 1-round mock. We'll trade their second round pick that they got from the Colts to the Colts, and then we'll get that 16th overall pick. Got 3 picks right here, all in a row. Very intriguing. But I think that this would be a really good spot for the Vikings to move up because if I'm thinking about it, offensive line is kind of the thing I would go after. And offensive line is probably not going to be worth much for a little while. Guys who I could think of maybe starting, Sean Ryan. I think I honestly think Kenyon Green would be a really good option at that spot down there. There's not good enough value right here. And I think that it's just fair to say that the Vikings will be trying to move on from Kirk Cousins with his contract trying to move up. So the Vikings will be trading with the Panthers. There we go. So we're going to be trying to see, we're going to feel out this deal right here. I think honestly a 4th or a 3rd round pick might be good enough to get this deal in. So let's just feel around. Let's see what the good value is. We'll get a 6th in return. Get your maximum value right there. Send a 3rd rounder in. You're getting a quarterback. Kellen Mond looked absolutely awful. And it's just almost like a point of no return with how terrible his mechanics are. I'm going to be going Sam Howell here. Just a really high-end prospect. We're talking, I think Goat House had like Kyle Trask going like 5th overall to the Vikings last year. It makes sense. Sam Howell is somebody who could actually really fit this offense. And he's a guy who's dealt with a pretty crappy offensive line. So I think he's a perfect fit. So cheers to the Vikings for doing that. At number 10, Washington, I can't believe this is happening, but we are going quarterback again. Matt Corral, perfect fit. So one piece you're missing, go with it. Also another reason for the Vikings to move up. Matt Corral is just a dangerous gunslinger. Another quarterback that could go in this round is going to be Carson Strong. I just don't think he will. But Matt Corral, going to be lighting it up. Leaving the Eagles sitting here, again, another reason why you have to take a quarterback. You don't want the Eagles to get him. Eagles are sitting here, and they're like, well, we don't have that. So why not get arguably the best corner of the draft? Kaiir Elam. And, he kind of fits a little bit more of what your type of ideal cornerback is looking for. Andrew Booth is a stud. He'd fit really well. But I think Kaiir Elam fits even better, just meaner, better at mirroring, in my opinion. Andrew Booth has more of the technical efficiencies. I think Kaiir Elam has more overall football efficiencies. At this pick, this is a fun one because I think that I can go Sauce Gardner here or Booth. I just really think that going corner here is paramount. Edge could be something to do, but they have pretty damn good edge depth, man. I'm telling you. I think that Ahmad Gardner just fits more what the Raiders are looking for. It just feels more right. I don't feel like Booth is a guy that they'd be really interested in. They did get I'm forgetting Trayvon Mullen from Clemson. So you know what? We'll honor it. We're gonna go back to Clemson as well. Andrew Booth going to be lighting it up there in Las Vegas. Big fan of Andrew Booth. I think that he's a really damn good player. He's my cornerback 1 or cornerback 2, behind Derek Stingley. just really smooth athlete, somebody who has great speed and just moves very fluidly, something I very much like, and he's starting to improve his mental game as well. Could have been this pick right here. 13, we got the Panthers on the board. And this would be an interesting spot. I mean, man, the wide receivers are just incredible at this spot. I really do believe that. They're just, it's unbelievable. I would think about trading back again. Like, that's how good it is. It's that type of level. And honestly, I might. It seems a little bit ridiculous. I'm trying to think of teams that have traded back twice. But like, I'm looking at the guys on the board. Kenyon Green might. I think we should take Kenyon Green at the spot. If I'm honestly the Eagles, I'd be looking at Kenyon Green and being like, dude, I'm going to put Dickerson to center and then Kenyon Green at guard. Yes, please. We're doing Kenyon Green. The worst position was guard. Have Deontay Brown as well as Kenyon Green. Start there. Just see what happens. Worst case scenario, Kenyon Green can actually move to tackle. He's really damn good. So I do like that quite a bit. And number 14, the Eagles are sitting here on the board, and there are 2 wide receivers. I honestly think that the Eagles could probably move back. They have a lot of picks, but do they really need to spend them all at once? I don't think so. Sauce Gardner would be another guy who I would just say, hey, you know what? We can get 2 corners, but there's no need for that, right? I'm just trying to see who the best value type of players are right now. You did just lose the best interior offensive lineman on the board. That's a bit of a bummer. Again, I'm looking at Brandon Joseph. That's probably going to be a later pick for me. Christian Harris could be a very fun one, but I think that's another guy where if you want to trade back, you can do that. So I'm going to be looking for a team to trade up for a guy like Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson, and it's not that big of a jump. It's the Patriots. The Patriots are going to be moving up. They rarely move up, but it is a very small amount. They're not really having to do much to get there. But what we're going to ask in return is we're going to ask a first round pick, and we're actually going to be giving our second. So the Patriot, that's kind of BS. You guys know that. That's some bullshit. I'm not going to do that. I was about to just go like crazy mastermind trade here. We're going to toss in probably, what pick don't we have? We don't have a 6th round pick. We'll toss in a 6th as well as a 3rd. Yeah, we could swap into 3rd. Actually, we'll go 4th and we'll swap for one of our 5ths, our later 5th. That is crazy. I didn't think that was going to be as difficult as it is right now. We'll go 3rd. We'll ask for that 5th in return. How about that? Moving up 3 spots. Eagles are being a little stingy right now. We'll see how it goes. The Eagles accepted the offer, which, I mean, you get a 3rd round pick and you're moving back, you're probably selecting the same dude anyways. At this spot, you could go Sauce Gardner here, but desperation, Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson would have been good at that spot. You choose which one's right for you. I do feel like Chris Olave is a little more of a Patriot, so I think that will be something that they're looking for. A nice deep threat. You could see how they went after that in free agency. So Chris Olave going to be your Devontae Smith for Mac Jones. Number 15, you got the Broncos here, and the Broncos are sitting here and they're like, dude, I mean, I just went this in my last draft, Jackson Kirkland. I'm starting to not like that as much, to be honest. Ahmad Gardner is a sneaky option because we don't know who's actually going to stay on the roster after roster cuts next year, because you got 2 guys up for a contract. It's rough. But I think Christian Harris is worth this pick. He's very dynamic, extremely explosive athlete. You could look into the safety department. I think that's a little bit disrespectful to the safeties you just drafted. Christian Harris is rangy, athletic. You have some good run stuffing linebackers. Get one that is uber athletic, extremely high ceiling. Vic Fangio, if he's still going to be there, might actually make him work. That's all I got to say. Number 16, we got the Eagles, and that was probably a guy who I was thinking about taking for the Eagles. So kind of sucks because, we just traded out of that spot. Regardless, now that we're the Eagles in this position, we could go Garrett Wilson. That'd be kind of crazy, right? Yeah, Garrett Wilson along with the rest of that squad. That'd be ridiculous. Don't think we're going to go 3 first-round wide receivers. That would be a bit much. Don't need edge. You have so much edge depth as it is. Even though there's guys coming up on contracts, I think that's a little bit over the top. I mean, Brandon Joseph's just not worth the pick anymore. I believe Jordan Battle is worth the pick 10 times more. He's also much more of an Anthony Harris type. If I was going to say Anthony Harris, I think Jordan Battle. That's literally exactly what I think. He's super well-rounded all around. I just really like him. And I'm trying to see maybe there's a guy that I want to pick up for that guard spot. I would look at a tackle like Sean Ryan, but, we know what happened. Washington, they could go after Kirkland, put him in the guard, but it's just a really awkward spot. We could go after another linebacker here, but I don't want to just show my cards like that. Jordan Battle, to me, is probably the second best safety all around in the class. And it hurts for me to say. Jalen Catalon's another guy who I think is an absolute stud. So big fan. Jordan Battle, really good safety, though. Deserves a bit more respect. He is very much all around. And at this spot, you still have Garrett Wilson on the board, which is ridiculous. I can't stand that. But Ahmad Gardner's also on the board. So a team like the Cowboys, like the Titans, could definitely use it. But honestly, I am going to trade again. The Eagles are just gaining capital here. I know I said I was going to limit the trades, but this just makes a little bit too much sense. The Eagles are not the Eagles. The Falcons are trading up with the Eagles, and they have plenty of capital here. So we're going to try to move up with that 5th round pick, which makes no sense that this is likely now. We'll put in the 7th round pick as well. You know, it is a bit less valuable from 17 to 14 as 20 to 17. So now we are going to be able to get Sauce Gardner, which is a ridiculous pickup, by the way. I love that pickup so much. Sauce Gardner getting picked up right there because, again, the Eagles are not going to be having any dudes nabbed by the Cowboys or anything. This is a good spot for Brandon Joseph, to be honest, but you know me. I got to go Adam Anderson here. My favorite edge in the class that is not one of the top edges. He's just my sleeper 1st round pick. I love him to death. I think he's a better version of Azeez Ojulari, and he's a perfect fit on this team. I don't care where the Cowboys are. I think it's a great fit. Number 19, you got the Tennessee Titans. And honestly, you can even look at Jackson Kirkland at this spot. Garrett Wilson would be pretty fun if you don't want to keep I'm thinking of his name, Josh Reynolds. It's a good option, but you do need edge help desperately. You could go Aiden Hutchinson here. I mean, this is just a really tough spot. I think I'm going to cheap out with my edge pick before. Nick Bonito, you need help on the pass rush, and Nick Bonito has been extremely consistent, very solid. I think that's kind of worth testing out. The Eagles are sitting there, and man, I mean, do we go a quarterback here? No, it would be just too stupid. I would genuinely start thinking about Garrett Wilson as best player available. I really would. He's worth this pick tenfold. Really damn good. He's my number 1 wide receiver in the class. I just don't like how much he's falling. Linebacker-wise, you do have Henry Teotiao. Really good, really damn good player. Guys, this is going to be weird. I might go Garrett Wilson. I really might, because I'm thinking about that 3rd wide receiver slot, and I mean, I'm not liking it as much. I think Garrett Wilson is kind of worth it. He's your after-the-catch guy, which I already know that we do have Jalen Reagor, and Garrett Wilson does play primarily in the slot. I think he can work on the outside. It's just he is that good. Can I just let him slip past this point? I might have to. But you know what? I know that the Eagles like pretty damn athletic dudes. We're getting Jackson Kirkland to play guard because he's getting manhandled as a tackle. I think he worked so much better as a guard. I should have stuck to my guns. I got convinced that he's a true tackle. Jackson Kirkland, going to be an athletic-ass guard. He was really dang good at guard, too, something people do not give enough credit for. Jackson Kirkland lighting it up for the Eagles at that guard position, moving Landon Dickerson to center. The future is bright for Philadelphia. Look at that. Your draft is actually just fully restocked your defense in positions that you might be losing dudes, as well as just building a foundation on the offensive front. It would have been cool to have Garrett Wilson there, but it's just not realistic to go wide receiver, right? The Steelers, dude, this kind of feels like a Steelers pick. I'm looking at Sean Ryan here to be like an actual tackle. You can use him at left. You can use him at right. Dan Moore had a pretty good first game, which is great. I love to hear that Steelers offensive line can actually play. The quarterbacks are not good enough for the Steelers right now. Let's go Sean Orion. Big fan of him out of UCLA. Mobile, great in the run game. You see how UCLA blocks. And it kind of sucks, but we're just going to have to wait a little bit to see what the Steelers can do at quarterback. Number 22, this is a perfect – I love this fit. Aiden Hutchinson to the Chargers. You know, he's going to be playing where that Jerry Tillery role is, where Jerry Tillery has failed. And for the love of God, Garrett Wilson's here. I honestly thought about putting Garrett Wilson to actually all of these teams. It's just he somehow slips to 23. It kills me inside. I know. It kills you guys too. but Garrett Wilson is such a good fit there. This spot, I mean, what are the Jets need help? The Jets need help everywhere. I would consider a right tackle, and I'm trying to see if they're just disrespecting anybody too much. Not really. Well, nothing too crazy. I would look at a guy like Daniel Faalele in the second round. I just don't think it's worth it right now. Linebacker wise, though, I'm going to be going Henry Teoto, really high end athlete out of Alabama, formerly Tennessee. He's just been lighting it up, man. Brandon Smith's been getting put in the first round. He was actually put in my first round as well. After studying him a little bit more, I'm not willing to really thrust him into the first yet. Just has had some issues over the with his tackling. Same thing with Mike Jones, but Mike Jones is such an elite coverage guy. There's a lot to like with him. Regardless, Henry Teoto, I think, probably solidifies as a top 3 linebacker. Devin Lloyd is an all-around type of dude. I don't know where I'd actually draft him. Maybe in the first, but we'll just leave it there. The Baltimore Ravens, man, they do need some offensive line help. But I'm looking at it, and I don't like much of what I see. Zion Nelson's the only guy I'd even consider at this spot. Trevor Penning's funny because he's pretty much a better version of Spencer Brown. Thayer Munford would be interesting. Daniel Faalele would be fun as hell. That'd be just a sleeper pick right there. You could look at some extra edge pressure. Don't really think that's worth it. You could go after McDuffie here. McDuffie would be a really good fit if you don't want to bring back Marcus Peters, but I think he should be coming back. I'm honestly going to be going with a tackle that's used to having a mobile quarterback. Mobile scheme, it kind of fits really well. Zion Nelson. I know that they usually have bigger dudes there, but I'm just saying Zion Nelson's the only guy who I can really think fits into this offense right now, unless you want to go balls to the wall with Daniel Faalele. That's it. Number 26, you got the Packers on the board. And the Packers, I mean, let's see who's actually on the board. You got McDuffie here, dude. What's a team that needs a corner? A team should probably be trying to trade up right now. We're going to move my camera. Like, what team should be moving up right now for a corner? The Bills, a competitor? I honestly think that we might just be trading this to the Bills. The Bills might have to pay a high price for this one, but the Bills are going to. The Bills are moving up with the Packers, man. It seems a little bit ridiculous, might be unrealistic, even though they've done trades like this before. We're going to be offering a 4th-round pick to move up. We're going to say that the Packers are a little bit stingy. They want a 3rd, 4th-round pick. Well, honestly, you know what? They're saying, you know what? Just switch it to next year 4. How about that? We don't have that many 4th-round picks next year. We'll do that. So we're going to be doing that, sending in another 4th-round pick for next year. Moving up a couple of slots to select a high-end corner right here, Trent McDuffie. Darian Kendrick is more talented than Trent McDuffie. I like Darian Kendrick more. Personality issues do concern me. Number 27, you got the Browns, which is a great spot for a linebacker. However, no real need for one right now, given the fact that the top ones are off the board. I would look in the edge room, and maybe you could look at a guy like Kingsley. I think that might be a really good fit. Zach Harrison's another sneaky one. I just don't like Drake Jackson. George Karlaftis would be really fun, though. Honestly, because of health issues, it's the only reason he's really falling. This is the first time I'm including Karlaftis in my first rounder. He's just had injury issues, man. So I hope that he continues getting over those, and he just lights it up. 20 tackles for loss as a freshman, shown the potential. He's with Myles Garrett, man. So there's a really good chance that he reaches his high-end potential. So let's see if that happens. It's a 27th overall pick. Just go balls to the wall. Have a good time. George Karlaftis, welcome to my first round. Number 28, we got the Packers on the board again. And honestly, the Packers need help. They need help. I think that wide receiver would be really good for them. I'm looking at Treylon Burks. I'm also looking down here at Drake London. And I think Treylon Burks would be a really good option. I think Drake London's going to go before him just because, again, he's 6'5", as well as a guy who can play boundary. Treylon Burks is literally exclusively slot. I think Treylon Burks has had he's had an up and down couple of weeks, but Drake London's really good after the catch. Kind of feels a little bit more Packer-ish. I don't know why. Treylon Burks doesn't feel as much of a Packer as Drake London does, so we're going to say the Packers get some help for their guy in Jordan Love, Drake London, the guy. Number 29, you got the Dolphins, and the Dolphins' offensive line is so bad. It's just terrible. So I don't know why they're asking for interior offensive line, maybe the center position. But it's like, do I go after a tackle here? There's just nobody good enough. Charles Cross is going to be the same situation as Liam Eichenberg. He's too light. Daniel Faalele could be a reach, but is it worth it? I don't know. I'm down to two guys, Kingsley Enagbare, which is a guy who I take all the damn time for this team, or I could go after Devin Lloyd, a high-end linebacker, 3-down guy. I'm going to be taking him. They did trade for Xavier McKinney. I know Broshmo loves Devin Lloyd. So in honor of Broshmo, we are going to go Devin Lloyd to the Dolphins, 3-down linebacker, a high ceiling type of guy because he does have pretty much everything that you do want. And you got the Lions here, and they desperately need wide receiver help. Treylon Burks is a great addition. That's a great addition. I'm super happy about that. I know ARSB is usually going to be a slot dude, but who really cares? Treylon Burks can be forced outside if you want him to. This team desperately needs the help, and that is definitely the talent that you're looking for. 31. I think this is a good spot for a guy like Akeem Ekwonu or Darian Kennard. Darian Kennard has a higher upside just because he has played tackle as well, and we're finally seeing him do pass blocking reps. Akeem looks absolutely terrible at tackle, so I think there's just more upside to Darian because he's so much more raw. You did see that when Sedarius Hutcherson being drafted last year. I think it's just more fun to go Darian here. I have Akeem higher, but I think Darian does have more potential. We'll go with that for right now. And at number 32, we got the Chiefs. Chiefs, what can we do for you? Honestly, if I had Drake London on the board, I'd be going him all day, but we're not going to be doing that. Brandon Joseph could be an interesting addition here. You know, Tyrann Mathieu there. You do, three safety sets are starting to become a bigger thing. I think Brandon Joseph could be a really good slot as well. I just really want Brandon Joseph to go in the first, but I really can't do that. I think that they could use they desperately need edge help, man. I mean, but can I go edge? I don't know. That's the thing. I kind of want to just go Brandon Joseph because he's going to be a better player in general than a guy like Zach Harrison or Myjai Sanders, Kingsley Enagbare. It's like you look at Kingsley's size, 265. I think Zach Harrison's like he's 268. After I said he plays like he's 290. We're gonna go Kingsley. Somebody with pretty damn high potential. You know, there's a lot to like about him. So we'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the far side. Peace.